Um, it just got laborious.
Everybody's talking about Mandalorian. Are you into that?
Mandahulian. What?
Really? It's supposed to be like a Star Wars big deal. It's new.
It is new. I know a lot of people watching it, but I watched the original like 6 movies, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't
That's
look
it.
excited at all. Are you more into Avatar? What is it? Not Avatar. What's the other one? Not what's the Disney one?
Avatar was the one with the blue
Yeah,
people
I
where we
know,
went to
I
their
know.
planet. We were stealing their minerals. Like,
Yeah.
No, what's
was this
this?
written by Al Gore?
I know. No, it's not DC. It's the other one.
Marvel.
Marvel. Are you into Marvel?
No, I am a superhero, so I don't need to watch other
Oh, yeah, you're the
superheroes. When you
original.
are a superhero, you don't need other superheroes.
That's what it is.
You're the superhero.
That's what it is. I told Roy how awesome you are. How you have a big heart, but how you've taught me. You said anywhere you walk in. What'd you say? You remember?
You got to be the boss.
You act like you own the place.
You act like you own the place.
When did you learn that?
When I was 4.
Ah, are you serious?
No. You know what? I had my first real transformation. My first real metamorphosis was in basic training. And because I went there and I was unsure of myself, I had not really been successful at a lot of things. And so when I got there, I got to turn this down. When I got there, it was a kind of a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Like for one thing, they handed me a gun and explosives and a tank. I'm like, well, somebody must trust me if I could blow up this whole place right now.
Yeah.
And that really built my confidence. It is exactly what I needed. And it led me to the Lord. That was my first real walking, because it was like the third Sunday. They said, well, it's Sunday, so it's clean the barracks day, but if you want to go to church, we have to let you go to church. I'm like, well, Mama didn't raise a moron. I'm going to church.
I'm going to church.
And for the first time in my life, I went to a Protestant church. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what it was, but I felt like God had something for me. And I went the next week, and I stayed after, and I talked to the pastor. And I said, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I should be here. I sang in church. When you gave your message, it felt like you were talking right to me. And he just said, God is putting you on a journey. You're on the first steps of your journey to Christ. I still didn't understand it. I didn't really understand it until I met my wife, and her dad was a pastor, still is a pastor, and he explained it to me. Wow. I got saved at a Promise Keepers conference.
With your father-in-law?
In 1993, yeah.
Wow.
We went, it was in Colorado, and I thought, well, if it's boring, I'll just go climb a mountain, I'll lose him.
Yeah.
And I gave my life to Christ on Friday night to a message about the prodigal son.
Wow.
From Greg Laurie.
That's awesome. Are your parents saved, or how did...
No, they're not.
Okay.
Most of my family is not.
Yeah.
And so, it's... Even when Jesus went back to his hometown and people said, isn't this Mary and Joseph's kid? Isn't this brother?
Yeah.
So I need other people to build into my parents' life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And my brothers and sisters.
Kelly Norville, she is awesome. She is actually heading up Night to Shine in Aurora. I was just there yesterday as an MC. I brought the girls. They were little princesses. And I was lost with the superheroes. Well, not all of them. Kelly, I'm sorry. You could probably tell. With the Star Wars one, I was like...
You should have said, but don't you know David Safransky?
Yeah, that's what she
America.
said. She just said you should be on the red carpet for Night to Shine if you're a superhero. And then Mike said, you're a super something.
Yes, that's probably more accurate.
Have you heard of Night to Shine?
I haven't.
It's, Tim Tebow.
I do know Tim Tebow.
It's his, and it's around the world, and it's like a prom-like event at churches for kids with special needs, 14 and over. And so, like, they're all prom queen, all prom kings. They bring volunteers that dress up, and, like, the whole night, it's about making them feel like the star.
Nice.
Isn't that awesome?
I do like that, yeah.
I really, really liked it.
He gives a lot of time and money back. And unfortunately, whenever you have athletes, the stories that you see are the worst stories. And because that's what makes the most news. And I can tell you, having worked with athletes now for over 15 years, the lion's share of these guys, and mostly guys that we work with, they're good people. They're giving back. They're family people.
Yeah.
They do a lot in the community.
Yeah.
It's not all about them.
And we need to talk more about that, like you said. But what makes the headlines is the negative stuff.
Yes,
which is
absolutely.
Gary says, Dave, have you ever been to Kruzinski's Fine Meat in Slavic Village? They make the best pierogies. Have you?
I haven't. Here's what I like to do. I like to find a church with little old ladies with the thickest mustaches, and they make the best pierogies. So,
Seriously?
yeah.
Did you hear about the restaurant that's closing up in Cleveland? It's Polish. I thought about you, and I was like, oh, I
No,
wonder
I
if he
didn't.
knew about
What is
that.
it?
I don't know what the
The
but it made the
University Inn.
news.
The University Inn.
Is it? No, I'll look it up. And I thought, because you're from Parma, I
Sokolowski's?
think it's in
Yeah,
Parma.
that
What
was
is it?
Sokolowski.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I knew about that. That's on the south side of Cleveland. It's a great restaurant.
It's not Parma then.
No, it's
Okay.
it's just on the other side of the river. You can overlook the steel mills from it and everything.
Oh, okay.
And it's by the Professor in Tremont area.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of a hip, trendy place. When I was growing up, we owned a house there, and my dad had a hardware store there. And the only time you saw a Mercedes-Benz down there was on blocks and probably on fire.
Yeah,
And now
yeah.
all the hipster doofuses live down there.
Yeah.
And it's a great area. It's a nice area.
It is
But
nice.
COVID really kind of just took the wind out of their sail.
Yeah, sure did. Hola, Pamela, Kelly, Gary, Mike, what's up? Charles, my brother, what's up? He doesn't even say hi to Dave. So there's this mystery. That's messed up, Charles. There's this mystery. Look at all these people sitting on YouTube. Nobody says hi. That always happens.
To who? To you?
On YouTube. Look. So
Are they
Facebook,
rude?
everybody's like, good morning, what's up? I don't understand. So YouTube, can you be like courageous and be the first ones to
A
say,
little bit
what's
polite.
up?
Polite. would
Thank
be
you.
nice.
Hello. Hi. So we are answering financial questions. If you have any, Kelly has one. Kelly says, Dave, can you give a little info on trust funds for special needs kids, families seeking to do this? We have our daughter who's 24, but thinking of parents with younger children especially.
Yeah, think of it like this. It's a trust, a special needs trust, in which that money will then be invested in something. And the special needs trust is really to make sure that the child, the disabled young adult, is taken care of when the parents pass away. So you might have this child doing job training or something. There's a lot of stuff I know in Cuyahoga County and the different counties. Or they may be in a group home, something like that. But they may have needs that are above and beyond what they're providing. And so some money can be set aside in a special needs trust to help them with their needs, if they need clothes or food or whatever it is. And so you do that through an attorney. And if you have a disabled child that is always going to need care, do not depend on the state for it.
Yeah.
It's going to be up to you.
Yeah.
And so if you can set aside resources for it, I would recommend that in a trust. And that's a special needs trust, an attorney will draw.
What's
that
the difference between a regular trust you would leave for your kids and a special needs trust?
Well, a special needs
upon your death. They're both upon your death. So like,
right, but a special needs trust, that child so the money is never in their name. Okay,
okay.
So they're still going to get state benefits because it's not in their name.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to provide for things that the state wouldn't normally provide for. So they're never actually going to get what we call the corpus, the amount of money that's provided.
Okay.
They're never
Okay.
actually going to get that. They're going to live off of it, and somebody's going to help manage that trust for
You
them.
pick that person,
Yes.
somebody you set up.
Yeah, it could be a bank too.
Okay.
Banks do this, but it's expensive.
Yeah. What's up, YouTube? Man, you guys are
Did they come
awesome.
through?
Look at that. They came through. Sagaris, right?
Sagres.
He says, tell David that I ski better than he does.
Oh, we went skiing yesterday.
You did?
He's
Where?
from Brazil. We went to Peak and Peak.
Oh.
It was nice. There was nobody there, but so Sagres is skiing. He's never skied before.
That's what I was going to say. When
Yeah,
he
and by
learned.
the end of the day, he was going down Black Diamond Hill. Now,
What?
Not very gracefully, but he was doing it. And his kid Ryan was snowboarding like he was born to snowboard. Also from Brazil. It was really,
So you've been skiing for how long?
oh my gosh, since I was like 15.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. What's up, Oris and Carl on YouTube? Thank you, guys. I mean, you can ask questions. You can engage. Come on YouTube and talk to us. There was a question that came in at the very end. Scott's probably here, so I want to get to his question. He has an IRA that currently has $14,700 in cash reserves. He's 52 years old. Can I use that money in a way that I could defer the tax hit by taking it out, like applying it to a mortgage?
There is, due to COVID, there is an exclusion to withdrawing for a first-time home purchase by taking money out of an IRA. I think you can take out up to $10,000. Now, you have to pay taxes on it. What you're going to miss what you're going to avoid is the penalty on that money. Because if you take money out of a qualified plan before the age of 59 and a half, there's a 10% penalty.
If it's the increase, right? Whatever you put in an IRA,
No,
you
that's a Roth IRA.
Oh, you're
He's
talking
got a
about
regular
traditional.
IRA. He's got a
Okay.
traditional IRA. Really, the thing to do, if you could, is to avoid taking the money out and put the money to work in the market, because it's the money that you will make in the market is going to, should anyway, can't guarantee it, but the money that you make in the market should outpace the price of your mortgage. So because the cost of money is so cheap right now,
Yeah.
I would be much more willing to do a smaller down payment and keep the money invested
Yeah.
than put your 20% down and at a 3.5% loan. It just doesn't make sense to do that. This is just a math problem.
So we'll get to Kelly's question. Kelly Fuller. We got a couple Kellys here. And Sharon, what's up? Charles is mad. So you see how Charles said hi to Kelly. He said hi to me. Charles sometimes isn't nice to me. He likes Brian sometimes. I don't know what's going on with Charles. He says, you know, Jannelle, I was being nice and you had to call me out. There you go, being just like a little sister. So then he said, good morning, Dave.
He sounds a little schizophrenic.
Gary, who's like the president of Brian's fan club, is concerned about Brian. He's like, did you guys stuff him in the back closet? Where's Brian? And then Charles says, I confirmed that Brian's safe and Jannelle has not harmed him in any way. Wow, guys. When do you recommend, this is Kelly Fuller's question, a long-term care insurance? At what age?
Well, like all insurance, the longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. So if it is in your wheelhouse to get long-term care insurance, I'm looking at somewhere around the mid to late 50s to really start that. And long-term care has changed so dramatically in the past 10 years. It's nothing like what it was before. You cannot buy a lifetime policy anymore. Mm-hmm. It's really what you're buying is a benefit. So you're buying a dollar amount that you're going to pay for over time. And I want to focus on home health care. You do not want to go to a nursing home. You do not want to go to a skilled nursing facility or anything like that. You want people coming to your house for as long as you possibly can until it's no longer possible, because that's the cheapest way to do it. And that's where people get better the fastest.
Yeah.
You do not, what happens when you go to a nursing home? You get sick and die.
Yeah.
And so I'm never sending my parents to a nursing home. I'm never sending my in-laws to a nursing home. I will care for them for as long as we possibly can. Now, there comes a point in time where you just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And so then you have to make some very difficult decisions. But cooking, cleaning, bathing, washing clothes, things like that, you could hire people to do that. And it's cheaper than a nursing home.
Who should get long-term care insurance? Is it even a reasonable cost? I've heard it's super expensive.
It is expensive. It is expensive, but so is a nursing home. So really what you're doing is you're going to do a cost-benefit analysis. So if you say, well, look, everybody in my family has Alzheimer's, and they've all spent time because you couldn't care for the person.
Yeah.
They're getting out, and we had to call the police to find them and things like that. So that person should consider it. I do not have Alzheimer's in my family, nor does my wife. I just don't think it's I'm probably not going to do it, but don't use me as an example.
Yeah.
You have to do what's right for you, not what's right for me.
Yeah. Hi all. Hi Kelly and Team Jannelle. Education and a panel to manage the trust for special needs child. Pamela says, do you agree? And are there
there's
other
a cost
banks?
to it. There's going to be a cost to it. So what I want is I could set up a trust with any trust attorney. I could set up a special needs trust. I don't want to use all the money paying the bank's fees. So I just need to know, how much is it going to cost? Can I change the trust? Once I'm deceased, once I've assumed room temperature and the bank is a trustee, a lot of times they don't let you make any changes after that. And so I want a trustee that has some compassion to what's going on. I want a little bit of flexibility, and a lot of times banks don't have flexibility.
Yeah. Sharon is here, and I think she's saying her son has autism and some concerns. Sharon, can you resend your question, and I'll try to get to it before we leave. We're about to leave, so try to send it soon. And Nathaniel called you Professor Dave. That's deep. That is deep.
I tell people I have a PhD in life application studies.
Wow.
I've lived it. I've lived it. I've lived through several market crashes and talking people off the financial cliff and
Aw.
helping people plan
And you save marriages.
uh,
That happened on the radio.
it did, didn't it?
Yeah, you look like you can't even believe it.
Well, you know what it does show me is that you have to be ready. God doesn't use the perfect; He uses the willing.
Yeah,
And
wow.
so, if you are willing, and even in an area where you're not an expert, God will put people in your life that you can help. But you have to be willing. You have to step out of your comfort zone. It's not always easy to speak into somebody's life when they do not want to hear it.
Yeah.
Or, as a Christian brother, I tell the guys in our church, if you're trying to throw in the towel, we're going to hand it back to you. We're gently. Okay, we're going to hand it back to you and say, hey, look, bro, what you're doing is wrong. And then if you try and throw it in again, we're going to push it back to you.
Yeah.
And then if you throw it in again, we're going to stuff it down your throat.
Ooh.
We're not going to let you walk away from your responsibilities as a man, as a Christian, sometimes as the husband.
Yeah.
We're catching arrows. In fact, we spend a lot of our adult life catching arrows for our family. That's just where we're at. That's what you're going to have to do. Get used to it.
Charles says, wow, he's humble. And then he said, just kidding. Way to go, Dave. And Miss Theola, you're getting lots of love. We'll close with this one. She says, good morning. Thank you, Dave. She's actually a grandmother. She's like third generation. She has 4 kids, has grandkids. She's awesome. She says she loves to hear people's testimony and how they met the Lord, but she loves your financial answers as well. You always give godly advice.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Charles says, speak on it, Dave. Got lots of fans. Armando.
This doesn't surprise me.